So I was up at 4:30 this morning, got a train from Sheffield at about 5:30, got into London at around 7:30, and now I'm here at All Things Tennis in Westway, and we're going to do a day of filming. I'm not quite sure what yet, they haven't really told me, but I'm going to pick up my new rackets and yeah, have a look around the shop, probably try and raid it and take as much as I can. So yeah, let's do it. I mean, this place is like racket heaven. They pretty much have every racket here, and they've even got their own personalised balls. So I was here, we were on court, it was time to get to work. So, it was finally my turn to take part in the famous All Things Tennis 8-Racket Challenge. Ahead of me was some of 2024's best rackets, and my job was to find out which one was best, or suited my game the most. So the full video will be posted soon on All Things Tennis, so watch out for that. And while we're at it, I'd like to say a huge thank you to All Things Tennis, and especially to the owner, Ross. He's been supporting me now for nearly 2 years. He's helped me with everything from rackets to shoes, grips, string, and even helped me find a kit sponsor with Nordic Dots. Thank you. The US Opens are so lively, but I've just got no coordination. So I can't tell you which racket won the 8-Racket Challenge, that'd be spoiling it. To find that out, you're gonna have to wait for the full video. But I will say there were a few rackets that really caught my attention, especially the Aero 98 from Babolat. The chosen racket of Carlos Alcaraz, Holger Rune. I mean, so many players use this racket, and I can see why. Originally, I tested this racket with Headlinks Tour, my string of choice, and I didn't really get on with it. It made the racket feel quite stiff, but at the minute, All Things Tennis are developing their own string, which is what I actually had in all the rackets, strung at exactly the same tension. Now, I'm not sure how much I can actually give away about this string, but it is slightly softer than a Lynx Tour, and it did actually complement the Babolat really well. So compared to the Yonex Percept, which was the racket I was trying out before, the arc on the Babolat was just so much more aggressive. I was able to generate so much more spin. But for me, this didn't feel like the typical Babolat boomstick. I genuinely felt like I could use this racket anywhere in the court. It just shows you that matching string to a racket is as much of an art as picking a racket. So if you're looking for a new racket at home, I would advise you try a few different frames with a few different strings, maybe even a few different tensions. So the Babolat was a big favourite of mine. I'd even go as far to say as it was in the top 3 rackets of the year for me. It just had such a solid performance from the back of the court, a lot of control at the net, and very precise when it came to serving. Like, they've managed to create like a pretty all-round frame because of the beam width isn't too thin, but it's not like a boomstick, and then also the string pattern is open, but it's also 1620. Yeah. Like, it feels like it's kind of a bit of everything, but... Yeah. So, up next, we had the Head Extreme Pro 98, another one of the rackets that is in my top 3 of the year. It felt so crisp and clean from the back of the court. In my opinion, it felt like it had a slightly bigger sweet spot than the Babolat, and it was slightly more spin friendly. I'll be honest, I was not very keen about this racket when I first picked it up, purely for the fact that it was yellow. But then I strung it up, hit with it, and thought it was great. Feels great.
Feels great.
Yeah, I feel like this is the closest out of all the rackets that would feel like a pro stock frame, really? In my opinion. The quality's that good. Yeah.
We've talked about that. Let's get you up to the net and see how you get on with it.
Yeah. I'll admit the Head Extreme wasn't what I was expecting at the net. I was expecting volleys to fly long, be uncontrollable, and it feel more like a power racket, but it just felt like it pocketed the ball really nicely.
It felt crisp, felt controlled. I'd go as far to say it even made me look like I can volley. I'll be honest, I really enjoyed serving with this racket. I feel like my tee serve is pretty good with any racket.
Elegant.
But this frame really helped any serve where spin was involved. So the out wide serve, the kick serves, felt so easy with this frame.
Shit.
Okay, so the last racket that I'll be showing you is the RF1 Pro from Wilson. Now, I'll be honest here, I tested this racket in summer quite a lot, and initially I did like it. I thought that it was a nice transition from the pro staff, and it's a racket that I would just love to love. I think the idea of it is amazing, I think it looks great, and obviously I'm a massive Federer fanboy, so that plays a small part. And it is so fun to play with, don't get me wrong. It's so much more forgiving than pro staff. You can generate so much more spin and power. And it does have that hint of a classic Wilson feel about it. But trying out all of these rackets has made me realise that I could probably find something better suited to my game. As tempting as it is to copy Roger once again.
Yeah, it's definitely the best looking racket.
So, after the 8 racket challenge, we decided to head back in the shop and shoot some more content. Ross gave me a little guided tour, highlighted some key features of the shop. One of them is the Yonex weighting and balancing machine that they have. And it was actually quite interesting. I was just watching how they customized all of their rackets, which is something that they do in the shop. And then I just sat back and watched a social media masterclass while seeing if I could nab a pair of shoes while no one was looking. Asics are just the best. And that was pretty much my day done. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you again for watching.